Welcome. I'm Eunice. Thank you for joining me on this journey of mastering relaxation. This yoga stretch sequence is for stressful and emotionally heavy days. Feel free to modify, skip, or take a different variation of any posture. You can also use child's pose for breaks or to substitute. You can use any props for support. We will be using a yoga strap. And remember, your body is the guru. Honor and listen to it. Let's begin our practice on our stomach. We're going to lie flat on the stomach, stacking the hands and resting the forehead on stacked hands or stacked forearms. We're taking a more restorative approach to this posture by bringing the hands to the sides of the body, palms facing up, and lying down on one cheek. Soften the upper back, the stomach, and the hips into the ground. Let the heels fall away from one another. If you were lying on one cheek, you'll switch over to the opposite cheek to even out the stretch in the neck. And feel the stomach push in to the ground as you breathe and contract as you exhale. We're going to inhale to release and prepare for a chest and shoulder stretch. And stretch the left arm out to the left side in a T shape. Relax your left shoulder back and down. Rest the left cheek down onto the ground. Draw the right hand towards the chest and then push into the right hand to roll the body onto the left side, keeping the right leg stacked on top of the left, or drawing the right leg behind, right sole of the foot flat on the ground with the right knee pointed up. Let's inhale to release flat onto the stomach and move over to the right side. Stretch the right arm out into a T and rest on the right cheek. Use the left hand as support, drawing it towards the chest, and roll onto the right side of the body, positioning the legs as you did on the left side. Inhale to gently release and come back flat onto the stomach. Push into the hands and come onto the knees. We're going to move into child's pose. Bring the big toes together, send the knees out wide, push the hips towards the heels, and melt the chest down towards the thighs. You can always place a blanket or a block under the forehead, and soften the lower back. You can rest here in child's pose, or you can take a thread the needle variation. Inhale and lift the head up, push into the hands, and take the right arm out to the right and then up. Exhale to thread it under the left arm. Rest the forehead down and draw both shoulder heads away from the ears. Soften the lower back, the hips, soften the upper back. Take an inhale to rise up, and let's move over to the left. Stretching the left arm to the left, stretch the left arm up, and then exhale to thread it under the right arm. Rest the forehead down and create space for the neck by drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Use your next inhalation to release and come up to all fours. We're going to move into a few cat-cows, inviting movement into the spine. Stack the knees under the hips and stack the wrists under the shoulders. And on your next inhalation, inhale to drop the belly, send the tailbone up, heart forward. Exhale, push the ground away, belly button towards your spine. Inhale, tailbone up, heart forward, shoulders back. Exhale, push into the hands and the shins to round the upper back. Move through a few more cycles of cat-cow, linking your breath with the movement. Release your cat-cows and come back to neutral spine. We're going to move into downward facing dog. Tuck the back toes under, push into the hands, Send the chest towards the thighs and the hips back and up. Let's pedal out through the legs, stretching the hamstrings and the bottoms of the feet. Bending one knee deep, stretching the heel down of the opposite leg, and just go back and forth. Take an inhale and come onto both toes. And then exhale, sink the heels down to the ground. Let's move into the right hip. Bend the right knee. Take the right knee up. Send the right heel over towards the left side of the room and plug that right shoulder down to keep the shoulders squared. Exhale, draw your right knee forward to the inside of the right wrist. If your hips are more open, you can bring the right shin parallel to the front of the mat or draw the right heel towards the groin. Use the left back toes to open up your pigeon, untuck the toes, and draw the right hip back and the left hip forward to square the hips. Take a moment to exhale, lengthening the spine. And when you find your next exhalation, melt the heart forward. To rest here upright on the forearms. To come down deeper, you can always rest your head on a block or on the ground. Inhale, push into the hands, bring the upper body upright, tuck the left toes under, and push back into downward facing dog. Pedal out through the legs to release any stiffness, to release the pose. And let's prepare for pigeon on the left side. Bend into the left knee and send the left knee up and the left heel over to the right. Drop the left shoulder to keep the upper body squared. And then when you find your next exhalation, send the left knee to the inner left wrist. Squaring the hips, drawing the left hip back and the right hip forward, untuck the right toes. Take an inhale, lengthen the back, and then exhale to melt the heart forward. Soften the shoulders and the upper back, and just scan the body and make sure you're not clenching anywhere else. Take an inhale to gently release. Push into the hands and bring the upper body up. Tuck the right toes under and push back into downward dog and pedal out through the legs. Release the legs down and come to a seated position. We're going to move into Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. You can always sit up on a blanket or a block. Bring the soles of the feet together. If you want to get deeper into the hips, you'll bring the heels close to the groin. Interlace the fingers and wrap them around the feet. Grow tall through the spine, through the crown of the head. Draw the shoulders down away from the ears and relax the hips and the knees down. Send the heart forward. Soften your gaze or close your eyes and breathe into the hips. Take an inhale to release. Keep the left heel in towards the groin and extend the right leg long over to the right side. Flex the right toes towards the face. Take a moment to lengthen the back, sit up tall, and then exhale to fold forward as far as you can, keeping both hips plugged and rooted into the ground. Let's take a hamstring stretch. Coming back upright, you can use a yoga strap here. When you find your exhalation, you'll send the chest towards the right shin, grabbing hold of the shin, the ankle, or the foot, or looping the yoga strap around the arch of the foot. Take a moment to inhale and grow long, and then exhale to fold forward, maintaining a flat, straight back. Inhale to release and come upright. Let's move over to the other side. Draw the right heel towards the groin. Extend the left leg long. Flex the right toes towards the face. Take an inhale and then exhale, fold forward, drawing the shoulders away from the ears and keeping both hips plugged into the ground. And we'll take a hamstring stretch on this side. You'll come upright to inhale, using your yoga strap if you used it on the opposite side. Take a moment to lengthen the back, making sure that it's flat and straight. And when you exhale, soften the chest towards the foot and the right knee down. Take an inhale to release. Let's move into a seated forward fold with both legs extended. Move the fleshy part of the upper thighs out of the way so you can make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. And if the back body is tight, bend both knees and flex the toes towards the face. Inhale, draw both arms up overhead. Exhale to rest the hands either on the ground, the shins, grab the ankles or the feet, or you can use a strap here and loop it around the arches of the feet. Use your inhalations to lengthen the spine and use your exhalations to hinge from the hips and melt forward. Use your next inhalation to release the pose and come to lie flat on your back. Draw both knees in towards the chest for Apanasana, wind relieving pose. And you can hold it here, or you can rock from side to side, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears and relaxing the shoulders down towards the ground. Keep hugging the right knee towards the chest as you release the left foot down to the ground. Make some ankle rotations with the right foot in one direction, and then switch the direction of your ankle rotations. And you can stay here, or you can extend the left leg long to get a little bit deeper into the pose. Let's move into a hamstring stretch of the right leg. Loop your yoga strap around the arch of the right foot. You can keep your left knee bent, or you can extend the left leg long. Flex the right toes towards your face and keep a soft bend in the right knee. Make sure to plug that right shoulder into the ground. And you can stay here, drawing your right leg towards the center, or you have the option of taking the right foot out towards the right, bringing the stretch into the groin. Make sure to keep the left hip plugged into the ground. Take an inhale to release the legs. And draw the left knee towards the chest, keeping the right foot on the ground. And then you'll make some ankle rotations in one direction with the left foot. Switch the direction of your ankle rotations. You can always stay here and need a chest pose, or you can lengthen out the right leg to get deeper into the stretch. We're going to take the left leg into a hamstring stretch, looping the yoga strap on the arch of the left foot. You can decide if you keep the right foot planted on the ground or if you extend it long. You can always keep a bend in the left knee if the hamstring is particularly tight. And use your exhalations to draw the leg a little bit closer in towards the face. And you can stay here in center, or you can take the left leg out towards the left, plugging the right hip into the ground, taking the stretch into the groin and the inner leg. Inhale, bring the left leg back to center and release the leg. Draw both knees in towards the chest and bring the soles of the feet together, grabbing a hold of the pinky edges of both feet. Push the knees away from the shoulders and you can remain here, or open up the legs wide into happy baby pose. Soles of the feet point up and draw the knees down towards the ground. Relax the shoulders, plugging the shoulders into the ground. You can stay still or you can rock from side to side. Release the legs down, bring the soles of the feet down to the ground, and we're going to move into a spinal twist. Cross the right leg over the left leg, bring the arms out into a T shape, and shift over onto the left hip and drop both knees over towards the left. You can keep your gaze upright or look over to the right hand. Inhale to release. Come back to center. Undo the cross of the legs and let's move over to the opposite side. Cross the left leg over the right. Shift onto the right hip. Arms are out into a T. Plugging the upper body, the shoulders into the ground. Taking your gaze over to the left hand. Take an inhale to release and come back to center. Hug both the knees in towards the chest. You can rock a little bit side to side, just massaging the back body. And we're going to find our Shavasana, our corpse pose. Spread the legs out wide. Arms are out wide by the sides with the palms facing up. Soften the back into the ground. Release the muscles of the calves and the shins, and release the muscles of the thighs, the buttocks. And let the back ribs relax towards the ground. Soften your chest, your collarbones, and your shoulders. Soften your face, your jaw, the muscles around the eyes, and the space between your eyebrows. Soften the whole body. On an inhale, make some micro movements in the fingers and the toes. You can take a long stretch with the body, sending the arms up overhead. Then roll onto the side of the body. Just take a pause. Extend gratitude to yourself for taking a moment to move into relaxation and give back to this mind, this body, this vessel that does so much for us. Gently push into the ground and come to a seated position, our Sukhasana. Take an inhale and sweep the arms out, around, and up. The palms come to touch overhead and land on the space between your eyebrows, as a reminder that you are the master of your Zen. Palms come to rest at the lips as a reminder to communicate our truth with authenticity and kindness. Palms come to rest at heart center as a reminder to know thyself and love thyself. Thank you for practicing with me. Peace and ease to you. If you enjoyed this session and it helped you, share it with someone you think that it can help. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll be aware of when I post. Until next time.